We've talked about the management, we've talked about the players. Now, it's time to talk about the coach. Hello and welcome to Coast Nation Fan TV. I am Bilo, I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs Football Club. And in today's video, I want us to talk about Arthur Zwane and his role in what is happening at Chiefs, because we have talked about how management has contributed to our downfall for the past 8 years. And in yesterday's video, make sure to go check it out if you haven't watched it. We talked about what the players have done that is causing each Chiefs to play like this. But today I want us to talk about Zwane specifically. If you watch this channel, you know what I'm promangete. I want Zwane to stay as coach at Chiefs because I believe Uguti, he has something in him and he can improve the team. However, that does not mean I will not criticize him critically if I see Uguti there are things that he's not doing well. Because just because you like someone, that does not mean you cannot criticize them, right? So okay, angifuna abantu after this video coming at me talking about, hey, you don't like Zwane. No, that's not what we're doing here. So the first thing that I don't like that Zwane is doing or has been doing in the past few games, or actually throughout the season, is what I will call tactical stubbornness. And I know a light bulb is coming in your mind, Uguti. Zwane sometimes he takes too long to make changes. He just takes too long. You cannot tell me, like in an example of this previous match that we played against Amazulu, there was nothing, absolutely nothing that Turiv was doing. And you have Solomon's benching that you can bring in, also a different dimension in your game. Second thing, Umat is not giving you anything. So it's a mixture. Uguti, is he not hungry enough or he's just tired? Because there's also that possibility Umat was just tired and that's why he wasn't giving us anything, because he has played almost all the other games that we've played in the previous games except after Richard's pay, because that's why he got a red card. So he could have been tired. And you have Ustebe, and I know some people will say, hey, Ustebe plays too safe, sideways, backwards. But a player who has energy is better than a player who's tired. Because sometimes all you have to do is bring in fresh pair of legs, give the same instruction, go do the same thing that he was doing, just that when you are fresh off the bench. And by doing that, you are injecting the energy, you are injecting fresh legs into the game, fresh ideas, because, well, the player is also different from the other player. So as much as they might have instructions that you gave them as a coach, but there is also the fact that they are also individuals and they will do things slightly different from how the other player was doing things. You have Umatlo. You know, I'm not like a huge fan of Matlo because I really don't see what he does in my game in Western Scat, except to Gumbona in the final third, maybe my Setinti Bola trying to play in a strike or something, but otherwise Angimbon Twinzan. But if you bring him in a game, then you are bringing a different dimension into the game. But if you keep the same players a grounding, you're not gonna get anything. You'll just have the same results. As I said, you do the same thing over and over again. It's a definition of insanity, but those are not my words again. Albert Einstein. We'll move on to the other thing. Playing Ukama as a center forward. Now, Ukama Billiard, we talked about him. We've talked about him before. Maybe he's just not hungry enough. Maybe he's not, he doesn't care as much. Whatever reason is, maybe it's because of his injuries. That's why he's not pressing as much as he should or doing the things that he should be doing. We can talk about his missed chances, but we've seen in every game that he has played as a center forward, he does not give us anything. So why are we insisting on playing him as a striker? Because at that position, Siyabona ukuthi we don't get anything from him. Why not play him out wide and see ukuthi what is he going to give us? Because if he's effective out wide, then usipusha usehota uyodlala ngakwa right, uyakhatha in. Or better still, sidlalisa usehota ebenchini, for ukuthi angene azoba impact sub on the 60th minute, because if you've also seen ukuthi usekhotha at times first half or mayiqala game ukabe flat, especially after teams realized ukuthi ingozi ube seba nje ubonke udukile kusekhotha, and then he has moments. But if umfaka ngo-60 and people are tired, uzoba and is going to be troublesome. That's how he actually ended up winning a starting place, because when the season began he was getting like minutes towards the end, and the khombisa ukuthi uzoperform, and then that told the coach ukuthi he should start. But what if maybe Usekhota is just a good impact player who can come off the bench and affect the game? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying ukuthi if you want to experiment with Upiliat, then let's experiment with him left wing and see what it does there. Because here's the thing, I know some people are angry with Upiliat and how he's been performing and stuff like that, but the fact is equality is still there, and we know Guti Chiefs lacks equality. So if you have a quality player that you can find some use for him, why not use him? Use him and see what it gives you, because if Bektu Piliat udlale as a winger and then he dribbled 2-3 players in a weekend and passed the ball to Caleb, and then Caleb was 1-on-1 with the keeper, scored the goal, 1-0 siya winner. All of a sudden Upiliat that everyone hated ubezobe create a goal scoring opportunity final. Piliat does the same thing, dribbles 2 players, passes the ball to an overlapping Solomon cuts the ball back, Dolly finishes the ball off. Isn't there a player that fans could have written off and said Kindabayalo could actually still give us something? I do believe Ugutu Piliat is one of the best players that is there with PSL right now. But ngenxa yokuthi either the injuries or attitude or where he's being played, then you see what is happening right now. Because sometimes you even feel like indlela zama ukudlala ngayo, the people that are around him are not understanding. I think it was Mandla who was saying Upiliat needs smarter players around him, because sometimes he tries to play 1-2s and there's no one making that movement that is going to like connect with the Pascal Piliat. They are just trying to phambili njalo akekho ufuna ukusala emva kwakhe collectele lo ball and play the pass to him. So there is a quality there. It's just that Aske Zame something different, because right now what we are trying to do with him, it's not working. Next, as I said, I talked about Umati Guti. Umati Gwayena, he just needs a bench. He needs to go to the bench and watch the game from the bench, because what that does is umnikeza ihanga naye ukuthi next time he gets a chance yokudlala, then he will know ukuthi okay, I know how it's like ukuhlala ebenchini and angisafuna ukuhlala ebenchini again. Udoli is a good example of that. Ukuthi sat on the bench, they played Umad Nostebe ahead of him until Ustebe messed up, and then they brought Udoli back. Good example yokuthi you can bench a player and still get the best out of them by just giving them a rest. And the other thing is indaba kaRefrost. Frostler, when he came in Vele, I was one of the people, I won't lie, who said maybe if Frostler comes in, what he can give us a macross, because we have a target man. However, right now we see Uguti in a case where we're starting with Upiliat as a false 9 or whatever. You don't need crosses if you have a striker as tall as Upiliat, as short as Upiliat, really, because uzocrossela bani ukuthi enzeni ngani kanjani vononke vela amabhola winwe i-opponent. So you don't need then Uriv in that case, especially with his form right now. You can just play Usolomons and have him at the pace down the wing, and then have the person at Lalana maybe Usekhota cut in and then pass a reverse pass to say Ulukunja Solomons, and then Solomons can cut the balls back, and then our attacking midfielders can run into the box and finish the chances off. And I know it sounds simple, but watch how Man City plays. They do that every other week. Ukuthi ke bona ke abantu aba overlaphayo ukuba ama attacking midfielders abo, and then eboxini uzofica kunama forward abo, either kuno Haaland or kuno Foden or whoever they are playing on that day on the other wing, Mahrez, Bernardo, Mabedlalo, Bernardo, they score. It's just that when they do it quick, pa 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 pa, pa net, sebese khoneni. So why don't we try something different? Because obviously ama crosses angeke nje sisebenzele, they won't work. Ama crossela bani singotondo bonke abadlali bethu bafishane. Next thing is indaba ka Ashley no Sekhoth. I don't understand how. I mean, I've seen this. If I was a coach of an opponent, in fact, I think it was umdlali where TS Galaxy who was talking about how they planned to Marcus Sekhoth, how good they know which is going to do this. He said that on live TV, guys, after the game against the Chiefs. Well, I think, it was him or Wechip. I think it was TS Galaxy talking about how they knew Gutu Sekhoth inazoyenza. I know that. You know that. We know what Sekhoth tends to do. My left. Uzama ukuphuma ngapha esayidini ashaye cross every time, and players are expecting that. So why not change their tactic? Have them play in opposite wings, and then was good angakata in apasele the person who's running out wide, angakata in and try to take a shot, angakata in and play the attacking midfielders abarana, angakata in adlala ibhola ngale ngemumva, whatever. But mayise kata in, it basically gives him more options. There's a reason why players like Abo Frank Ripper babedlala on the opposite side of their foot. Bayakata in, they can play the person who's overlapping wide. Bayakata in, they can take shots. There's a reason why Messi they cut in from the left inside. There's a reason why Salah are cutting in from the inside. He still has an option. Got Trent running out wide. In a case, Ronaldo Madrid, why cut in? Xeno Marcel who's running out wide, or him, he can take a shot. But Liama cross, seku predictable ukuthi okay, mele sibe compact epoxini and wait for crosses. They know that. So we can't insist and force the situation and a tactic that has been figured out by me. Ngingena coaching license. Ngiyumlandeli nje ngibuka ibhola. So tactical stubbornness, that's what I'm talking about. Second thing is selectively nursing players' feelings. Now, Zwane talked about how they were not going to nurse ama feelings abadlali, and vele when the season started, we saw that him coming out talking about how Uhlanti was still nursing himself, blah blah blah, because because of that. And when he made some decisions like Blomo, when he wasn't playing that good season, it was just one game baggage, and then one bench at the following game or whatnot, and Blomo or bench after game or what, and then sabona nakutole kwenza lokho ukuthi bench him, and we saw ukuthi okay, this man really is not nursing my feelings. But at times I feel like that's not the case, and as I said, Uguti, I felt like Umati for the last 3-4 games he's not been giving us anything, and yet usaqala. There's another player like Uhlanti angakahlala ebenchini, lo muntu kade engekho the whole time. Uhlanti angahlaliswa ebenchini, okay ngizoqala ngisho lento. Uhlanti came in and solved left back position yethu, wadlala kahle. Hats off to him. However, Udove is quicker than Uhlanti. Udove is more technical than Uhlanti. Udove, I think, is much better than Uhlanti on the ball, and Udove offers you more on the ball than Uhlanti. I see him do more as a left-footed centre back or as a left centre back than Uhlanti does as a left back. So why not then take out Uhlanti and bring in Unjabulo Ngcobo, who hasn't done much wrong? Play Unjabulo Ngcobo alongside Ukweneka, which is also not a very good combination because they are both slow. Or maybe we can bring in Ugezana. We banglafuna kuma comments. But the point is, why not change that a bit and see what happens if you play Udove wide and then Uguphumuza Uhlanti kancane, so that you can see what Udove can offer you as a left back, because I'm a full back set to guys this season. They have not offered us anything. Uhlanti, yes, he's been offering us and some things defensively until those 2 goals where he was just ball watching ekubene ne-height entswempu kanje entswempu nge-height engaxuma head iball. So why not then try someone else ozodlala as a left back ekhona vele and see how things happen, because also there is an issue ukuthi he had an injury for this long for that long, and yet he's being played game in game out. So another thing ukuthi uKhama naye feel like uKhama is being protected too much. Yes, ukhona ukuthi is being played out of position, but he's not the first player to be played out of position. Sabezwa badlala cause phelele ntshangase be complain ukuthi they were being played out of position. There are a lot of players who get played out of position, and week in week out they still do the job that's required of them. Ujao Cancelo wafika kwi-Man City i-right back position taken by uKyle. Pep wamthatha wamphosa kwi-left back. Ujao Cancelo didn't say, hey, I'm being played out of position. No. Right now, yes, Ngobo Kelimel is playing as a right back, but last season, the past 2 seasons, he's been the best left back in the world in my opinion, yet he's right-footed and he's being played out of position. Because sometimes you just have to work with what you have. Try to adapt, try to learn. It's your job. And if you are not wanting to adapt to that, then muntu kumele akhisho. And yes, it's going to seem like I'm contradicting myself because ngithe Zwane kumele experiment ngoKhama, but there are 2 ways of looking at this. Could be just Zwane not understanding Khama's position, but also uKhama, if the only position that's available ngempela is for him to play down through the middle, then akadlale through the middle. So ke kukhona ukuthi some players feelings, and some people call it favoritism, ukuthi why is he not changing players. And the third thing is just grow a pair in the most respectable way I can say. Play the kids. Just be bold. Be bold. Take a risk. Uyabona ukuthi uKaleb akekho ulimele. Uyabona ukuthi uKhama is not giving you anything. Just play umdu. Umdu wangena, and within minutes he scored his goal. Because of the movement that he made in that game against Maritzburg United. We've never heard from him again. We've been talking about how Ubanlo, Ohanti and them were not playing youngsters. But now Zwane, these boys, ubenabo abafana abancane what's this thing? MTC when I was coaching them. And he knows them. He knows they're hungry. He knows uDuba njaganayo i-senior team contract. He wants it. Give him a chance. Sambona even in Makufe Cup, he was constantly making moves, trying to get the ball, moving into spaces. But awukumfake. Just be bold. As I said, in the most respectable way. Just grow a pair and just say, this is a decision I'm making. I'm playing these kids. I'm taking a risk. And let's go. Mbekela umfana umChelsea intwana yami ngizokudlalisa namhlanje and go make me proud. Just decide ukuthi I'm doing this. Because indaba ye depth asinayo, and under this Kaizer Chiefs management you cannot be certain ukuthi they will back you ngoJanuary. They might not give you anyone. So what are we gonna do? Play with Caleb Nokama throughout the season? It's not gonna happen. So yeah. If Mangete somehow watch this video, while role model yami ngingane, so I really want you to succeed in this team. So please, just go out there, do the things that need to be done. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. And until next time, remember, equals Alpelo Moya.